Stop playing this game of emotional bankruptcy. Hey love, welcome to Journey to Self. I'm Sharr, aka Soul Love Sari, intuitive energy alchemist and catalyst for emotional wealth and energy management. Journey to Self is where intuitive and empathic women ready to be free of emotional exhaustion come to learn how to build emotional wealth and restore their energy from the inside out. It's about emotional economics and investing. Your emotional energy is a resource. Just like your money, energy grows where it's respected. Every time you take action and make decisions aligned with the truth of who you are, you earn emotional interest. So if you're ready to keep your energy rich, your emotions clear, and your boundaries paid and fucking full, hit follow or subscribe and let's dive in. Here's the deal. Your overwhelm, chronic fatigue, and or stress aren't random. They're your body's way of sending a map of where you're leaking energy. Here's how to read it. Hey, my love. So in the last episode, we covered what your body is trying to tell you when you feel drained around certain people. If you missed that part in this particular series, take a second to pause this episode and go listen to the previous one now so you aren't lost in the shuffle the deeper that we dive into this, okay? I progress. While very real and likely disruptive as hell to your life, from an energetic standpoint, overwhelm, especially when it leads to the experience of things like chronic health issues, means that you are having symptoms of some sort of dis-ease, a disruption in your natural flow of energy. Energetically, this means that your body is trying to communicate and you are either not listening or you have not yet learned your body's own language, okay? And as a vessel that is here to both express and experience energy, the body has a tendency to get louder and louder by way of discomfort until you decide to fucking listen. Think in terms of someone trying to talk over you, or the way that music gets louder and louder in the club or even at a party, right? The louder you try to speak over the music or over the other person, the more exhausting, tiresome, and heavy it feels to do so. We are societally taught to disconnect, so there is a bit of a learning curve here, okay? So I figured I'd take this opportunity for us to walk through it all together. Nah, straight talk, no chaser. I'm gonna be the first to tell you and go ahead and say that this isn't easy, okay? Going through this is not easy. I used to think that no matter what type of relationship I had, how bad it got, that I was supposed to be quote unquote sticking it out and seeing it through, that it was somehow shameful to leave, and that doing so meant that I was a failure and unworthy of either being supported or having love, regardless of if it was romantic, platonic, or some other type of love, right? The thing is, relationships can be draining and overwhelming, but they don't have to be. I feel like the definition we were given growing up of what a relationship actually is broken. That's why you feel overwhelmed, drained around certain people, and in a lot of cases, you feel empty and alone even when you're not alone. This is also the reason why your heart aches from being misunderstood and feeling like you're not enough. We are unfortunately just taught at a very young age, especially women, to chase half of who we are in other people, but you are already whole and complete and were in fact born that way. A relationship, regardless of type, is an energetic exchange. Hell, the origins and ritual of marriage tell you that much. Again, regardless of its type, a relationship is an active exchange of experiences that foster new possibilities and, quite frankly, ways to express happiness and exist in a peaceful state of being from a different perspective. Relationships are intended to be a safe, loving, nurturing, and growth-inducing portal of new ways to experience yourself through the eyes, awareness, and perspective of others. The other person is a mirror, okay? The word relationship itself means the state of being connected. You are connecting to yourself in a new and different kind of way. When I stopped focusing on the overwhelm and started becoming curious about what the overwhelm was trying to tell me about the specific way that my relationships had me either connecting or disconnecting from myself, that's when I stopped being overwhelmed for no clear reason. That's when I stopped feeling and being drained around certain people. Not because it was easy, but because I was no longer abandoning parts of myself and performing for love, acceptance, and validation. I was no longer tied to the illusion of what was familiar and predictable, despite it being harmful to my very well-being. So now back to this learning curve. The very first learning curve in this particular situation of feeling overwhelmed for no clear reason around certain people, places, and things, is this learning curve of accountability versus blame. So there will always be some level of accountability to be had, okay? If you struggle with self-blame versus curiosity, again, go back and listen to yesterday's episode. My point is, other people being the source, quote unquote, the source of your problems is the package, not the actual source or root problem, okay? This mindset is a sign of emotional overwhelm. When you look beyond the false villain, we can easily see where the chronic health, the overwhelm, the feeling drained around certain people, in any other issues for that matter, showing up in your body are a sign of emotional crisis, okay? Not how capable or not you actually are. The second learning curve here is around symptoms and energetic feedback. Just like everyone else you encounter, the people in your life are mirrors, okay? If when in contact, your body begins communicating via you feeling drained, overwhelmed, or experiencing some type of chronic health issue, and you don't understand what it's trying to tell you, that is information, okay? The symptom is not random. The reaction is not accidental. And the body is very intelligent. The next learning curve here is environment and triggers, okay? Feeling overwhelmed energetically indicates that more subtle attempts your body has tried to make to communicate with you were ignored, even if not intentionally. Because again, we are societally taught to disconnect from ourselves. So again, these learning curves are naturally going to be there as a result. This is not about shaming you. This is about building awareness, about you building awareness so you can take better care of your health and well-being. The next learning curve is around boundaries and energetic protection, okay? Boundaries are severely lacking here. The way that you describe yourself and or your body reacting and or feeling things like being overwhelmed and drained by certain people or for no clear reason at all makes this very evident, okay? Setting and having boundaries does not make you a bad person. It simply protects your energy, your mind, your body, and your spirit. This is, again, about your health and well-being, not about you being liked. It's your job to like you. Other people's like is extra. The next learning curve is really and truly the root cause. So disconnection from self. The root problem here is the disconnection between you and your body. Your nervous system is reacting to energetic data it has been given in your environment. If you don't understand how you experience emotions and what your nervous system needs for you specifically to thrive, you will continue to experience dis-ease in some shape, form, or fashion, regardless of if you actually want to or not. Another learning curve we run into often here is the learning curve dealing with self-awareness and understanding its ties or connection to your energetic autonomy. Okay, energetically, this is where you are being asked to choose yourself. And so this shit is not easy. This is perhaps the most tricky and challenging learning curve for most people. Okay, this doesn't mean cutting people off. It can, but it doesn't have to mean that, right? It essentially means that it's time for you to adjust access to your energy. It means being honest about what you specifically need without the pressure or need to justify and explain it. The thing about this is the longer you avoid your truth, the louder your body will speak. Notice where you are feeling tension in your body right here, right now, in this very moment, right? Even just listening to these areas of concern and learning curves with trying to understand where you're being overwhelmed, why you're being overwhelmed, and how to fix the overwhelm. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of tension as you're listening to these different areas being highlighted for you. But again, it's not about blaming or shaming yourself. It's about understanding and building the self-awareness necessary to protect your peace, right? To increase your emotional wealth and take care of your well-being, okay? Notice where you're feeling the tension in your body. That's going to be your signal to pause and check your boundaries, okay? If you want a full breakdown of your energy, where it's leaking, and personalized clarity on how to correct it, the energy audit is where I do that. Okay, you can find the link for that in the description box below. In the next episode, I'll show you exactly what it actually looks like to set energetic boundaries that restore your energy and prevent dis-ease. If you've learned something new about yourself, emotional overwhelm, or have experienced a shift in the way that you think about your relationships this episode, make sure you comment below and share what mindsets and beliefs you feel changing and shifting for you. I love to hear your thoughts, and I love hearing from you. All right, my love, I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to Journey to Self, your #1 resource for emotional wealth, energy management, and self-discovery, helping you learn how to stop overgiving to people, things, and situations that don't give back so you can be free of emotional exhaustion and restore your energy. Continue your journey from emotional debt to energetic wealth. Scroll down and meet me in the next episode. Bye, love.